Hi everyone. Today we're going to learn about vocabulary, notation, and how to start looking at algebraic expressions and algebraic equations. So there's a subtle difference between the two. We're going to look at them, the vocab related to it, how we set them up, and look at some word problems. So first thing when we see expressions, equations, math is its own language. So we need to know what certain words mean. For example, the sum means add. Difference means subtract, and the order is going to matter for difference. Product means multiply. Quotient means divide. And solution is the answer. And we got to remember that order matters for difference and quotient. So subtraction and division, it matters which number goes first. Or if you have a variable, it matters whether the variable comes first or second. So we got to make sure we practice that. Now here's a bunch of terms related to expressions and equations. Today we're going to look at expressions, and in the next video we're going to look at equations. So the four terms that stick out right away for expressions are first off, an expression. It's a collection of numbers, or variables, operations separated by addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, exponents that we may have to simplify. It may be already simplified, but it's just a collection of terms. No equal sign, just a bunch of terms. So simplify means to rewrite it in a more desired form. Combine like terms means if we have like terms, which we'll see what they are, can we put them together to get less terms in our final answer to make it simpler? And evaluate means, do we have values for the variables so that we can find a numeric answer? And sometimes we do, and sometimes we don't. So let's look at an expression, 2x plus 11 minus 7x minus 9y minus 3. So the terms are each individual part, the 2x, the 11, the negative 7x, the negative 9y, and the negative 3. So we'll talk about what happens with each term, what can we do with them. If it talks about the coefficient, it's looking at the number before the variable. So the 2 before the 2x, the negative 7 before the negative set before the x, and the negative 9 before the y. And then the constants are the terms that don't have a variable. So this 11 and the negative 3. Now I got to remember the negative sign goes with the following number. So negative 9y, negative 7x, positive 11, and positive 2x. And the like terms are the terms that have the same variable. So 2x and negative 7x, 11 and negative 3. And the problem might tell us, hey, can you simplify the expression? Can you combine like terms, make it look a little prettier? So I combine then 2x and negative 7x to get negative 5x. The negative 9y doesn't have any like terms, so it just stays negative 9y. And 11 and negative 3 become 8. And normally put in this order because we put it in alphabetical order and constants go last. That's just traditionally how we've always done it. Now it might ask us to write an algebraic expression. It may say, hey, write the sum of twice a number and 7. So I don't know what a number is, so I'll use a variable. In this case, I'll use a. A lot of times we like to use x. So the sum of twice a number, so twice a number means I have to have 2a, and sum means add 7. Now the second example looks like it's the same, but it says twice the sum. So it says do the sum first. So I'm going to use parentheses here and do a sum of a and 7 and do twice that. And if you distribute in this bottom expression, you'll notice that they're different slightly. So we got to be careful that we're writing the correct expression based on what the problem's asking. And the last thing we're going to talk about today is evaluating. So when it says evaluate, it tells me the value of x and y. So I substitute them in. And I use order of operations to evaluate and get a numerical answer. Now we can use a calculator for this, but make sure that we're using the correct negative signs. I'd recommend do a few steps, negative 3 minus 4, cube that, then multiply that by 5, and then add 7 to get negative 1,208. And that's an intro to algebra.